Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here and you have not subscribed, please make sure to do so. It is completely free and you can always change your mind later. In today's video, as you read by the title, I am going to be doing how I make my thumbnails video because it has been very highly requested. Without further ado, let's just get right into this video. So first things first, I'm going to start off with the GFX. I'll not be showing this in the video because it's very big of a process and it takes a lot of time and it will make the video even longer. So if you want to see more of an in-depth tutorial, I will leave a few tutorials with version 2.92 of Blender in the description box below if you want to see how to do that. So I use Photopea to make my thumbnails other than Blender and everything else that I was showing you. Photopea is basically like a free Photoshop kind of thing, which is nice because, again, it's completely free and everything, and it's just, I really like it because it comes with a lot of good stuff and you can make your thumbnails really nice. So you're gonna go to new project and you're gonna make your background, I mean it can be white, transparent, whatever, because you're adding an image over it, so it doesn't really matter anyways. So then you're gonna choose an option here for the size of your image background thing. You're gonna click YouTube covers because it's like the YouTube thumbnail size, and you're gonna click create. Then you're going to place in our background. So go to file, open in place, and then find the picture in your files. Now that you've opened up your picture, you're going to size it to be bigger. And I don't want this Roblox logo, so that's why I sized it even more. And I'm just gonna do that. That's perfect. This is from a long time ago, so if you're confused why like everything looks different, yes, this was from a while ago. Now you're going to click enter to, paste it down, I guess. And now you can see it's clear, but we don't want it to be this clear. We want to blur it because this isn't what we want it to be, because if we don't blur it, then nothing will be eye-catching, I guess, if that makes sense. So we want the GFX to stand out and the text to stand out other than the background. So I am going to go to filter and then blur and then go down to Gaussian blur. I cannot pronounce anything. So we're just gonna blur it. Don't blur it like this much because then it doesn't even show anything. I like to blur it like this much so you can still see and kind of detect what it is, but not really, if that makes sense. Okay, so I changed the hue and saturation just a tiny bit, so if you see a difference in the colors or something, then that's what it was. So now we're gonna add our GFX in. You're gonna go to file and open in place, and you're gonna find your GFX in your files. There we go. You're gonna open it up and size it to your thing. There we go. Look at that. We don't want it to be just like this. We want to add strokes and add shadow to it so it stands out a little more. So you're going to double click your GFX and you're going to click stroke, and you can size it how you want. I don't like to do my stroke way too much, so I'm just going to do about that much. That's pretty good. And then color it white. Now you're gonna go down to drop shadow, and this will add shadow to your GFX. So you're gonna size it and everything how you'd like, and you can spread it too, and then choose how the angle and everything. You can also do an outer glow too, so it gives kind of a neon glow, which is also really cool too. I like to mix the drop shadow and outer glow because I think it looks really nice and makes the GFX stand out even more. So I'm gonna color it a brownish, not a brown, but something bright. So I'm just gonna color it a white, and then I think I'm just gonna keep the settings like this, but you can also make the opacity even more, and then also spread it and size it as well more. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So now we're gonna add our text. You're gonna go here to this little T, which is text, and you're gonna click down and write what you want. It's really small at first, but once you size it, it'll be bigger and you can see it more. So I just wrote how I make, and then we're gonna do my thumbnails. Now we're going to select this whole thing and change the color of it. There we go. So it looks a little weird right now, which is how it's supposed to look. We're gonna add more detail to it like we did to the GFX. So you're gonna double click it and you're gonna click on bevel and emboss. And you're just gonna make the depth I don't do too much, just a little bit. And don't make the size a lot either, or else it'll look not that cute. So the size, don't make it too much, just a little bit. And if it looks really sharp, you can also soften it and it looks even nicer like that. Just soften it just a little bit. I also don't want the color to be black. I want it to be a darker yellow, so, or you can make it like a brighter yellow like that. So yeah, you're just gonna find that. It's better to do something darker though. Yes, like that, something like that. Maybe make it a little bit darker. There we go, I like that. Now we're gonna add our stroke, and we're gonna make that really small because we don't want that, you know, really big. Then we're gonna add a color overlay, and I know we already filled the color, so it doesn't really matter. This is if you were like, oh, I don't really like the color and I want to change it to something else different, like I do. I want to make it pink because I don't really like what I did with the yellow. Didn't really end up looking how I wanted it to be. So I'm just gonna change that to a different color and then go back to bevel because I know it doesn't. Yes. And boom, look at that. Now we're gonna add drop shadow, and if you want to add glow, you can, but I'm not gonna add glow to the text. I just think it'll, I don't know. There we go. So we have our first text thing, and now you're just gonna copy them all. So you're gonna go to duplicate layer and bring it down and change that to how I make my, and I want to make my bigger because it's very small compared to everything else. So I want to make that like 300, and I want to change the font of it just to change some things up a little bit. So you can do cursive, or I could do this. I mean, I might do that. So I'm just going to change that to be bigger because it's definitely a little too small. There we go. I really like that. So I'm going to bring that up a bit and change the color of that to stand out a little more. Color overlay could maybe be like either a red, or it could be just like a black. I think the pastel yellow would look nice. So we're just going to adjust everything else here with our thing, you know. There we go. And then we're going to duplicate our how I make again because we're not changing any settings on those or anything. We're just changing the word to thumbnails. So I'm not really liking how the thumbnail thing looks with the my. So I'm gonna bring the my down so it can, like, how I make can go over that. Same with thumbnails. And then I'm gonna curve them. So you're gonna go to warp and then none and then go to arc, and then you can bend them different ways. So now that you think you have everything that you want, I'm just going to merge them down so it can be all one thing. So my and thumbnails is together, and now how I make my thumbnails is all together so you can move it. So I'm going to move that up just a little bit. And then now we want to add more effects. Like if you want to add sparkles, sun rays in the back, anything else. If you want to add emojis, which I love to do, you can go ahead and add that. So I am going to go to the website that I always get my emojis on, and then find like sun rays and sparkles, and we can see if we like that, if we want to add that into our thumbnail. So I found some sparkles and I already added it onto my screen, and you're like, what do I do now that it's black and it's covering up everything? Now this is something I learned about like a few months ago, like this summer, that I learned how to do this. So since it's black, you're just going to double click and it should say blending options up here. You're going to click blend mode, and right now it says normal. You're going to go to screen, and wazam! These sparkles are covering up my text, they're covering up my GFX, and we don't want that. So we're going to drag it under the example GFX and under the how I make my thumbnails. So there we go. You can also blur this as well, just a little bit if you want, and if you don't want it to be so sharp and like in the way. So you can just blur it a little bit. See, I really like that. I like how that looks. Okay, so now that we have our sparkle and we're liking everything, now I want to find some emojis and paste the star down, and then go to edit and free transform. And then you're just gonna size it how you'd like, and you can tilt it whatever you want. I like this, so I'm going to bring it up just a little bit and then double click it go to drop shadow, I think that's good, and then go to stroke, and that's good. You can also go to color overlay and also gradient overlay, so if you don't want it to be yellow, you can change it. So now that we have our star, you can keep doing the stars, or you can add the other ones. I'm just gonna stop. I think I'm just gonna go with the star and then do the sparkles instead of the flower, maybe. I don't really know. And there we go, we finished our thumbnail. So now that we have our thumbnail finished, we can go ahead and add it onto our YouTube video, and it'll be good to go. Now, the longer you spend on a thumbnail and the more detail you put on it, most likely the more clicks you will get on your video. It honestly just depends, but it's better to have a detailed and better quality thumbnail. You'll probably get more people attracted to it, and more people want to click on your video. Anyways, if you all enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a brand new video. And without further ado, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys!